Hello and welcome back to the channel, your go-to place for the most vital, timely, and honest updates affecting millions of South Africans, especially those relying on social assistance and government support. If you, a family member, or someone in your community receives a SASSA grant, whether it's the older person's grant, disability grant, child support, or even the SRD R350 relief, then stop everything and watch this video right through to the end. Because June 2025 is bringing a wave of rule changes to the SASSA system. And these changes could directly impact your money, your qualification status, and even whether your payment arrives at all. Some of these changes are subtle, hidden in policy documents or quietly rolled out through regional offices, and many South Africans won't know until it's too late. But not you. Not here. On this channel, we dig deep and bring you the truth, clearly, simply, and with no hidden agenda. Let's dive into everything you need to know about the June 2025 SASSA grant changes, because what you don't know this time could seriously cost you. At first glance, June may seem like just another month in the year, a halfway mark between January and December. But in 2025, June is proving to be one of the most pivotal moments in SASSA's history. Why? Because this is when a number of internal policy changes, new verification requirements, and benefit reassessments all come into effect, not through flashy press conferences or large announcements, but in quiet rulebook adjustments and silent rollouts. SASSA has, in recent years, moved towards stricter controls, faster digitization, and more layered verification, all in the name of fraud prevention and budget discipline. And while that might sound good on paper, it also creates real risks for genuine beneficiaries, especially the elderly, people with disabilities, and low-income families. June 2025 is the month where these policies start being enforced more aggressively, and that's where the trouble may begin for unsuspecting South Africans. One of the biggest and most noticeable changes coming in June is the shift in how and when grants are paid. Traditionally, SASSA follows a fairly consistent pattern: older persons' grants are paid first, then disability grants, followed by child support grants and others. But starting this June, the agency is experimenting with a staggered payment system in several provinces. Instead of a single national calendar, your payment date may now vary depending on your location, ID number, or even the specific branch managing your file. This means two people receiving the exact same grant might now get their money on different days. The stated goal of this change is to reduce long queues, improve efficiency, and prevent the kind of overcrowding we've seen at post offices and ATMs. However, the lack of centralized communication means that many people will simply show up on the wrong day and leave empty-handed. For elderly recipients or those living far from payment points, this could mean wasted trips and added costs. That's why you must double-check your exact payment schedule, and don't rely on last month's routine. Keep your phone lines open for SASSA SMS updates, and check notices at your local offices. Possibly one of the most underestimated changes is the tightening of rules around banking details. From June 2025 onward, SASSA will be enforcing stricter verification of all bank accounts linked to grant recipients. And this rule comes with real consequences. If the name on your grant file does not exactly match the name on your bank account, even by one character or spelling, your payment may be suspended or delayed. This rule is designed to prevent fraud, such as using another person's account to receive grant funds, or cases where people are collecting grants for deceased relatives. But it also means that people who've shared an account with a family member, or used a neighbor's bank account out of necessity, could suddenly find themselves without access to their money. The message is clear: if your bank account is not in your legal name, fix it now. There are many banks in South Africa that offer low-fee or no-fee accounts specifically designed for SASSA recipients. It's better to sort it out before you end up missing a month's worth of income. Another change that may fly under the radar, but will have deep consequences, is the new reassessment protocol for disability and care dependency grants. In the past, Once you were approved for a permanent disability or for caring for a child with high medical needs, the grant would often be automatically renewed each year, without much fuss. That's now changing. Beginning in June 2025, beneficiaries under these two categories will be required to undergo more frequent medical reviews. SASSA is introducing what it calls a rolling verification system. This means recipients may be called in at random to provide updated medical documents, undergo physical assessments, or meet new eligibility tests. Even those with chronic, lifelong disabilities will not be automatically exempt. The risk here is that people who are sick, elderly, or living in remote areas may find it difficult to gather all the documents or attend in-person evaluations on time. Caregivers receiving the Care Dependency Grant for children with disabilities are also being targeted under this change. If you're a parent or grandparent caring for a medically fragile child, you'll now need to provide new medical certificates or clinic letters more regularly. If these aren't submitted in time, the grant may be frozen until verification is complete. That means going without money during the months you need it most. SASSA has long used income thresholds to determine who qualifies for means-tested grants like the Older Persons Grant, Disability Grant, and Child Support Grant. But what many don't realize is that these thresholds are quietly changing, and they're being more strictly enforced. In June 2025, SASSA will begin using updated income verification tools linked to SARS, the tax authority, and financial institutions to screen applicants and existing recipients. What this means is that even small increases in income, such as a private pension adjustment, interest from savings, or rental income, could suddenly push you over the eligibility line. For example, a single person receiving more than a 97,000 per year, or a couple earning over a 194,000 combined, may be flagged for disqualification. And in some cases, grant payments are cut off before recipients even have a chance to appeal. This is especially dangerous for older persons who may not realize that a small payout from an insurance policy or retirement fund could tip them over the line. That's why now is the time to review your income sources carefully. If you're close to the limit, consider consulting a financial advisor or social worker to ensure your eligibility remains intact. In another controversial move, SASSA is now linking its fraud reporting hotline directly to the grant suspension system. Previously, reports of fraud would be investigated in isolation, and grant payments would continue unless fraud was proven. But from June 2025, if someone reports suspected fraud involving your ID number, your grant may be automatically frozen while the investigation takes place. This change was introduced to fight real abuses, like people claiming multiple grants, or collecting grants on behalf of deceased persons. However, it opens the door to malicious reporting. All it takes is a neighbor with a grudge or a clerical error, and your grant could be put on hold for weeks or even months. In some good news, SASSA is rolling out mobile wallet payments to more provinces starting June 2025. This will allow recipients, especially in rural areas, to collect their grant money using a mobile phone linked to a registered digital wallet. No more standing in long queues at post-bank branches or paying high ATM fees. However, not everyone will qualify automatically. To receive your grant via mobile wallet, your phone number must be registered in your name. Shared phones, unregistered SIM cards, or inactive numbers will not be eligible. You also need to ensure that your mobile wallet is set up correctly and verified with your ID number. This system is still being fine-tuned, but if you want to be included, now is the time to register your SIM, activate your number, and update your contact info with SASSA. Otherwise, your payment may be rerouted or blocked entirely if the system cannot verify your mobile profile. Here's a change affecting many grandparents and relatives caring for orphan children. The Child Support Grant Top-Up, which adds an extra R350 to the standard grant amount, was originally designed to help relatives caring for children whose parents have died. Previously, a sworn affidavit or letter from a social worker was enough to qualify. But from June 2025, SASSA will now require a formal court order of guardianship or foster care documents. Without this paperwork, you'll still get the standard R350, but you'll lose out on the much-needed top-up. This change could hurt thousands of families, particularly in rural areas where court access is limited. If you're currently receiving the top-up, or plan to apply, begin gathering your legal documents now. Go through the proper court channels and request assistance from a local social worker or legal aid office. Lastly, it's important to mention that the appeals system for rejected grants is still painfully slow. Many applicants for the SRD R350 grant who were rejected earlier in the year still have no feedback. While SASSA has promised to implement a new digital appeals platform, it won't be fully functional until late 2025. That means if your grant is denied or stopped in June, it could take months to resolve unless you follow up persistently. If this happens to you, document everything. Keep copies of emails, SMS replies, and appointment notes. Visit your local office and ask for a case number. Follow up weekly. The system is still overloaded, and only those who push hard are seeing results. There you have it, the full breakdown of everything changing with SASSA grants in June 2025. From shifting payment dates and new bank verification rules, to stricter income checks and fraud flagging, the system is evolving fast. And while some changes aim to make things better, the risk of being cut off or delayed is higher than ever. Don't wait until your grant disappears or your payment is late. Take control now. Update your details, gather your documents, register your bank and mobile accounts correctly, and watch this channel for more updates as they happen. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up so more people can find it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss critical updates like these. Share this video with your family, friends, or anyone in your community who relies on a SASSA grant. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.